Hey guys, RC Reviews here. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video where we'll meet back here at the RC Roundtable and I'll get into more detail and in depth of my first impressions of the all-new Blade 150FX. Enjoy the flight video. All right guys, here we are. We're going to do the maiden flight here of the Blade 150FX. We do have the battery installed. We'll go ahead and start out on low rates. We do have our throttle cut on, so we'll go ahead and switch that up. Looks like the blades are spooling up. Now it looks like we're ready for liftoff, so we're going to go ahead and take it off and see how it flies. Let's get it. Now we are flying in low rates. Not much wind out right now, so it is a calm morning, which is good. So far, pretty smooth in flight, pretty stable. Again, we are flying in low rates, kind of a quiet heli too. Looks like we're losing a little altitude there. We'll go ahead and give it a little tail spin. That's in low rates. Pretty decent and docile here in low rates. So we're going to go ahead and kick it up a notch and throw it into high rates real quick. There we go, we're in high rates now. Slightly faster tail, not by much. Again, this is geared for beginners, so you're not going to get too fast or too big of a difference when you go from low to high rates with this setup. But we are now officially flying in high rates. Still pretty docile. We are getting a little bit of wind now, not much, but some short bursts of maybe 5 to 10 mile an hour winds, and it's handling it pretty good, so it can withstand some wind. See if we can get it into a hover. This is hands off. We are getting a little bit of drift, but like I said before, we are getting a little bit of wind, not too much. But considering the circumstances, handles pretty well. Again, we are flying in high rates. Let's see what kind of fast forward flight we can get in high rates here. That's full throttle. And we'll bring it back this way. Not too bad. Not sure what the flight times are on this heli. So we're going to go ahead and bring it on in for a landing. Not bad. And we'll hit the throttle cut switch. So not bad for what this heli is. It is geared for beginners, so you're not going to get really extreme speeds with this one. But for what it is, I think it's pretty good for a beginner. Pretty docile and low and high rates. Not a major difference flying in high rates. But that's to be expected. When you have a setup like this, the helicopter itself is not very light, not as light as you would think. It's got some weight to it. So let's go ahead and take it on inside and we'll talk about it at the table. See you there. All right, so first impressions of the Blade 150 FX. It is a good beginner heli. I would recommend it for somebody's first helicopter, somebody just getting into the hobby. It handles well in the air, pretty stable both in high and low rates. This switch here, I initially thought was an on-off switch, and it's actually not. So even with this switch turned technically to the off position, once you plug your battery up, it will initialize the helicopter itself. It won't spool up or anything, but it will initialize. The lights will come on and you'll hear, some sounds. So this is not an on-off switch. It's actually a calibration switch, which is necessary considering how you would install the battery. It does take some time. You will need to unscrew the bottom here and open it up, kind of like a hatch here, and the battery will go inside and you'll plug it up right here at the base of the heli. Not my favorite design. It's not that big of a deal. It is kind of tedious. I miss the old days of just sliding in the pack and plugging it up. But with this application and the way this heli's designed, with the entire scale look there, it's kind of necessary. So I understand why it was designed that way. Not that big of a deal, but a little more than what I would like to mess with every time I switch out a battery, but it's not that big a deal, but worth mentioning. The radio has good signal. We didn't have any issues with the radio. I did, for the most part, fly in high rates. We did try it in low rates. Not too much of a difference, like I said before, between the two. I mean, there's a slight difference, but not by much. But overall, I do say the 150FX is a good heli for what it is. It's a fixed pitch, fly barless heli, so you're dealing with less parts. It can withstand some wind. We were flying, I want to say, in about 5 to 10 mile an hour winds. When we first took off, it was pretty calm, but then shortly after, the wind did pick up a little bit. I would not fly this heli in anything more than 5 to 10 mile an hour winds, and even that may be pushing it. This heli is not light. It's not as light as it looks. It does have a little weight to it, and then when you put the battery in there, that adds a little more weight to it. It's not heavy per se, but it does have a little weight to it. With that being said, overall, I'm pleased with the helicopter. Flew pretty good in the air. So yeah, I got to give it up to Blade. Nice heli, nice scale look. There are some LEDs on the tail here and inside the heli that give it that scale look, along with the whole body here being one piece. That's pretty cool. Kind of curious how you would go about working on this heli if you needed to do some repairs. Might have to read up on that. But anyways, guys, it was a successful Maiden. I enjoyed it. I do recommend it for a beginner. So with that being said, I guess that's all I got for this video. I appreciate you watching. If you like what we do here on the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. This is RC Review signing out, and I'll see you all next time. Later.